Welcome to the Artist Loft, the talk show for all artists. Join us each show as we spotlight a variety of different creatives, hosted by the Florida Arts Network, with Richard Sosa and Frank A. Ruffolo.
Hey, Lofties, we're back.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Artist Loft. Okay, so that little ditty from the past was done by the band that we have here today, Burning Roses. But before we introduce them, just want to talk a little bit about Florida Arts Network and how you can help. So go to floridaartsnetwork.org. And right there we have a list of all the different things that we need. We need donations. We need your help as well, especially with things like, well, we just got some people for social media marketing, because got a couple of old guys right here. What do we know about social media, right? But there are a lot of other things that you can help with. Supplies for students, for schools, things like that.
Be a sponsor on this show for as little as $75 to contact us for all the information. We also have a networking event coming up on June 2nd.
Yep.
In Sunrise at Lombardi's Pizza. It's free to the public. Come on down, have some fun, have some pizza, and network like it's 1999.
Yeah. Which was 25 years ago. It was a quarter of a century ago. Wow, okay.
And I'm going to be at a writing a writer's author event at the Wellington Mall on June 15th, which is right before Father's Day. Perfect time to give your father a gift. There'll be about 35 authors there at the Wellington Mall between 11 and 4 p.m. So stop on by and grab a coffee at Starbucks and stop by my table.
All right, and when's that going to be again?
June 15th.
All right, June 15th. All right. Okay, so without any further ado, Burning Roses.
Burning Roses.
How's it going, guys?
There they are.
Good, going good.
Thanks for having us, is right.
Yeah, all right. Hey, Joey, why don't you introduce everybody?
Okay, on guitar, Eric Calderon.
Raise your hand. There he is.
Also on second guitar, we have Luis Volpon. John Rose, our bass player. Bobby Traits on drums, and my name is Joey Burns.
All right. Welcome to the studio, guys.
Thank you.
It's great to have you on the show.
Yep.
Thanks a lot.
Glad to be here.
So now I know Joey's story, but I'd love to hear a little bit more about what brought you guys into music. How did you land,
Together.
as a musician and together?
Well, I can start if you want. When I was a kid, I took piano lessons. The guy across the street plays the organ at our church, and he gave me piano lessons when I was a kid. Did that for about a year, and had other interests and left that alone. And back in 2000, I started taking guitar lessons, and then a friend of mine had a band called the Outriggers, and he helped me learn how to play the guitar. And then he gave me a couple songs to learn, and we had gigs. He would let me play in on the set, and then things went from one to the other. Technical problems. Now we can hear. So I hope you can hear the rest of the stuff anyway. But so I started playing back in 2000 with the Outriggers. Started learning. He was more of a Jimmy Buffett, Beatles type band.
Yeah.
And we played for a while and played a lot of different gigs. We played, for example, at the All Country Club New Year's Eve party, and a couple other ones, the Coconut Grove Sailing Club, a lot of weddings and things like that. And that kind of band kind of died off and went away. And then a friend of mine was on LinkedIn from another band that these guys play in today. And he kind of said, hey, look, we're looking for a bass player. And I said, well, I'm looking for a band. So I started playing with back then it was Rock Zone, or Shades of Grey back then. When the movie came out, we had to change the name of the band to Rock Zone.
Yeah,
So-
I remember Shades of Grey.
Yeah, so we had
I thought it was such a great name, man.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
it was
now
fitting
we
too.
are.
Yeah,
And-
now we are.
Yeah, so that band kind of split up into two different bands. We made Living End and Rock Zone. So Joey, I, and Bob played with Living End, and these guys came in. We changed the band name. So that's kind of where we've been in a nutshell.
Yeah, and you guys are, how old is the band?
It's about a little under a year, probably, about 11 months.
11 months,
10, 11
right?
months.
Okay, so yeah, so you guys are really, really fresh as a band, right?
Yeah.
So and it takes a while to get used to playing together and everything else. You know, everybody's got a different style and stuff. So you're at a point where you're trying to make it gel, right? Joey, I
Yes.
know that you did a lot of the garage bands back in the day.
Yes, I did. Had a lot of fun doing it too. I mean, that's how I got started.
Yeah, hold the mic closer. Yeah.
Yeah, we were playing at Carroll City, and it seemed that every kid in the neighborhood had an Epiphone guitar. And I asked my dad if he'd get me one. He said, no, forget about it. You're left-handed. And I said, I can still learn how to play, right? And
Yeah.
you know my dad. He said
Yeah.
no. So someone threw a mic at me, and that's how I got started. I had a mic and a tambourine in one hand, and
Yeah. So
maracas
you play
in
the
the
vocal
other.
cords.
Yeah, that too. That too.
The lead singer and songwriter too, right? And published author.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
He's a published author too. All right, so let's hear from a couple of the other guys.
Well, let me start off. I started off back in the elementary school. I got in trouble banging on the desks. So I came home. My dad said to me, he says, "What are we going to do about this? I can't, you got to be respectful in class." I says, "I don't know." I said, "I think you better get me a drum set." So he bought me my first drum set, and ever since then I've been playing. So I thank my dear Pop up in heaven for making that initial investment on a nice gold classic, gold sparkle Ludwig set.
Nice.
And so I've been playing ever since with different bands and just staying in music. But I like to keep busy, and I like new talent.
Yeah.
And Eric and Lewis is new talent, and I enjoy trying to find a style and playing with them. So I started way back, and I was back in the 60s.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Shows you how old I am.
Don't give that away.
No, I'm fine. I feel
You have
I
a full
feel
head
great.
of hair. You can fake it.
I feel great. I'm going to take it to the end. Anyway.
Yeah. And Eric, I know that you started out with piano.
Yeah, years ago. That's when I was when I was a
And then
little
went to
kid.
guitar or something?
Yeah, I went to
or-
guitar when I was probably about 14 years old, and then just never put it down. Just kept with it, and then all these years later, now I'm here. So yeah, it's been a fun trip with that too.
Yeah, oh gosh, I haven't touched my guitar in ages.
Yeah,
I started with brass instruments in high school.
Yeah.
Did all the brass, and ultimately I ended up with guitar. But
Yeah. it seems to be like the creative outlet for when you pick up the guitar, right? It's not just like stuff you have to do in school anymore. It's like stuff that you actually like to play, so that's cool.
Yeah. I wish I would have learned how to play the saxophone.
Oh yeah,
I guess it's not too late, right?
never too late, right?
Yeah.
There you go,
That's
never
what
too
We
they-
late.
could
that's
definitely
what
use a
they say.
saxophone player.
Yeah, come on
Yeah.
in, join us.
I know, right? How about you, Louis?
Yeah, I remember like it was today. I was in a friend's house, and one of his friends was there with a black Strat and a Boss pedal board. And then I was sitting like 2 meters in front of the amp, and then he starts playing Back in Black, The Number of the Beast, Phantom of the Opera, songs by Iron Maiden, AC/DC, many rock songs which I was already a huge fan of, and hearing that sound and feeling the sound, the air coming out of the amp made me feel something. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I need to feel. I need to play guitar, and that's how I started. I got my first guitar. My father gave me. Thankful to him and my mother to inspire me to play and start that. And I started taking lessons and started playing. And a few months after, I was playing in the playground. And then two guys coming from the neighbor building. One was a singer and the other one was a phenomenal guitar player. And they introduced themselves and, hey, do you want to join our band? We are forming a new band. It's called Sidero. We are looking for a guitar player and drummer and a bassist. Do you want to join us? And I said, yeah, of course. And then a few months after, we found the bassist, the drummer, and we started playing. We played for a couple of years, and it's been since then having fun a lot. It's my passion. I love playing guitar. It's when I get the guitar, it feels part of me. It's like an extension of my body and my soul. I love it. It's it's a very amazing experience.
Frank, you play guitar also, right? Or you
In the 50s.
In the 50s?
That's right around 2050s,
What was that,
right
70
around the
years
corner.
ago?
Yeah.
Long time ago.
We know a
Yeah.
couple 50s tunes.
Yeah, we do a couple.
So
Do
what genre you guys play? What is your basic style?
Kind of like garage band,
Classic rock.
classic rock, yeah.
Leaning onto the little bit of the bluesy type songs, but classic rock, yes.
like British
Yeah,
invasion
and,
kind of
and
stuff.
you guys,
British Invasion. Yeah.
you
definitely.
guys have like a couple of songs that you've actually gone into a studio and,
Yep.
and recorded. We just played a little piece of one of them.
Yeah.
So what's the plan now?
I think the plan
What
is
do
to
you-
start playing live eventually, or getting some more gigs, and then from there it's kind of like whatever everyone's really feeling. If we want to, Louis and I and Joey always collaborate on songs that we come up with. Where we have our own little group chat aside from the band group chat where we send each other ideas. So we kind of have like a lot of things on the shelf and just kind of like ready on deck. So when we decide to do it. Because we met a really good producer. He's kind of like a Hialeah staple, Fernie Corpel. I don't know how to say his name properly, but we were introduced to him, and we were able to record with him in October, November of last year. So it was a really positive experience for us. So for us, we were kind of inspired all of us to say, okay, let's try to go back to the drawing board and let's do it again, relatively soon. So.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they're like, oh, it's kind of like with acting. Oh, yeah, just throw a bunch of people together in a room,
Yeah.
and like they'll do it, and it's not like that
No.
at all.
No.
At all, because okay, so like what are some of the issues that you guys have had to deal with, as far as like getting this thing moving, maybe
it's-
personality
yeah.
issues, technical issues.
I would say it's probably like 5 different schedules, 5 different lives that you
Yes,
have to
scheduling
you have
with
to
everybody.
coordinate it, and sometimes just things happen where you have to take maybe a month or 2 off, and there's really nothing you can do about it, even if you want it to be where you want to have something lined up, but an illness, death in the family, whatever it may be, you just have to understand that it is what it is, and these kind of things, they take time, and it's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
Sometimes
what
it's
we
good.
really need to do is to try to, when we do get together, is to kind of double up and make sure that we have down what we want to be. We want to be where we want to be. So if something like that happens where we have 3 weeks off, we can't get the full band or something,
It's not the
we
end of the
glide
world.
right through it. Just
Yeah.
listen to some recordings that we made and just everybody stay on breath. That's what we're going to be trying to do,
Yeah.
because that's inevitable. It's going to happen with 5 schedules. And nowadays, with just living here in this busy world, but if we get that done, and then we'll start working into some of our original tunes. Joey and I have original tunes that we have from past original bands. Eric and Louis they have great ideas. They've got some songs written, so we're going to be working on that, incorporating the originals into our gigging set. So right now we're doing covers just so we can find the blend and get out there and feel the crowd and build up the momentum for
Yeah.
us. So, but it's definitely scheduling, like Eric said.
Yeah.
It's tough, really tough.
Yeah, I can only imagine, because this is, this is not the only thing that you do. This is
Right.
something that this is just
busy,
a
yeah.
passion,
Yeah.
right? This is something that you want to do, but there are other responsibilities, and trying to work all that stuff out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we
Gotta
all
make
still
money.
we all have jobs still.
Yeah.
We're all working, so
Yeah.
and we all have families, so
Yeah.
basically it's like it's a tug of war. But as long as we stay dedicated and devoted to what we want to do, our insight on this thing, and I think we'll be good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing with these guys. So.
All right, very cool. Okay, so we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
See you soon.
All right.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Agent Romante, but most of you know me as Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de Rosa Ramirez from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. I just wanted to give a shout out to my man Richard Sosa. He is one of the best acting coaches that I've had the pleasure to work with, and he's actually worked with me in my program for many years, and I highly recommend this guy. So if you have an opportunity to work with him, what are you waiting for? Now, get out of my face. Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de Rosa Ramirez. I am out.
Frank A. Ruffolo, a renowned author and screenwriter known for his books such as 10048, Blue Falcon, Memoir of a Soldier, and his latest, Samuel of Sarah. Check out his website, frankaruffolo.com, for more info or purchase his books on Amazon.
In the cool of the evening, when everything is getting kinda groovy, I call you up and ask you if you'd like to go with me and see a movie. First you say no, you got some plans for the night, and then you stop and say, alright, love is kinda crazy with a spooky little girl like you.
Hey, Loft Days, we're back again, whether you
Yeah.
want us or not.
Well, of course they want us.
course
That's why
they
they're
want us.
watching. Who doesn't want this? I mean, come on,
Yeah.
right? All right, so that was another one of the tunes that you recorded, Spooky. Wow, it's like I was listening to some of your music, and boy, it just brings me back. I mean, like I heard them in history class. Yeah, it's like the whale said when he saw Jonah on the shore, said, I ain't a swallowing that.
What?
All right, so that's little pieces from a couple of the songs that you've done. But how many songs do you have to have, to do whatever sets, number of sets when you're? How many do you have to have like under your belt?
It's usually close to like about 30. That's usually like this to be safe, where you can get a decent, 30 or 3 hour set in.
Yeah, you could do 30, 35.
Yeah.
Depends on what, sometimes you might want to go an hour and 10 minutes, full set, take a break, 20-minute break, and then another hour and 10 minutes and whatever. But I don't personally like to keep taking, before I do 45-minute sets and taking a lot of breaks. I want to just,
Push through.
play, because you're in the mood. You get out of the mood and whatnot. But, yeah, you need about 35 tunes to do either 2 or 3 sets for places now.
35 tunes. I don't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. I couldn't see myself trying to remember.
35 songs.
Yeah,
And all the
playing.
notes and the finger placement. No,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I don't know how Joey remembers all the words.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I try and
All
do
the
some
words.
singing. I can't ever remember. I can't forget. I just forget it.
Yeah.
But everybody's got their own talent. So
Yeah.
combined, we put out a nice product. Just can't wait to get out and gigging. So we're going to be really good.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do some of these festivals. Local places outside, like parks. They have these food truck things. I think that's going to be good for us, an outside crowd. So we're this very close. So to be able to perform either a showcase set for 45 minutes, or a 2-hour set, or a 3-hour set. So we've got that down right now. We have that in the bag.
Oh, and I can probably help with that.
I appreciate that. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you guys sound real good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You really do.
That's
Thank
what
you.
all this work, we put all this work into it to make sure we'd sound as good as we do. But, we each have our own flavors, our own way of doing things, and that's what's in this band, is our own personalities in the music. It's not necessarily 100% original, but it's our version of the original.
Yeah, it's close. It's close to it, but it rocks. It really rocks. So we try to stay as close as possible to it with our own little flair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we do and helps us a lot is John records every rehearsal, so we can hear back and see the parts that we need
John
to fix.
does all the recording,
So
and
it helps us a lot.
puts it on CDs for us to listen to afterwards. So we can say, hey, I want to change this, I want to change that, and be ready for it the next time. So it helps out a lot. So
and it helps.
John's our ace in a hole in that.
Yeah, it helps a lot because.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. I tell a lot of my acting students, I said, when you're working on monologues and stuff like that, just set your phone up, to record yourself, and then just watch it afterwards. Because when you're playing, when you're in the moment, you miss a lot of stuff, and then you play it back and you're watching yourself and like, oh, I didn't know I did this.
Right.
I didn't know I do that. Or in your case, I went flat here. I missed this over here. Oh, I started out in the wrong key.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like watching film for an athlete. It's the same idea. You kind of see the things that you thought were a big deal in the moment ended up being nothing, and then something that you were completely unaware of, like you said. Then you listen to it and you're like, what am I doing? So you go from there, and you.
It's amazing what you can record off the iPhones now. John's got a Shure microphone that plugs into the charging port of the iPhone, and that's how we get our recordings, and it's phenomenal. From the old days trying to record, so that's very beneficial to us.
Oh yeah, and a lot of these phones, they record in 4K. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There are film festivals that actually have categories of films that were shot using phones.
And they're amazing too, I bet. Yeah.
So you guys play classic rock. Do each of you have a particular favorite band or performer that you
I
like?
do. That's a good question. I do. I love The Who. I love British rock and roll. The Who, that's right. And also like the When and the Whys, but no, The Who was my favorite, and anything British was like, and I also love Stevie Ray Vaughan, God rest his soul. But that's with me personally. So classic rock is what I grew up with. I enjoy playing it. And a little bit of country,
you guys have
too.
favorites?
Yeah, I like the Moody Blues is my favorite group from the 60s, but
yeah.
a lot of Beatles and things like that are also good for me as well. Jimmy Buffett was a good one. The other band I was in, the Outriggers, we play a lot of Jimmy Buffett music and a lot of Beatles back then. So those are kind of the genres I care for.
Yeah, to me it's Deep Purple. I love Deep Purple. I'm a huge fan of Blackmore. I think he is
Richie Blackmore?
Yeah, he's
Rainbow?
a phenomenal player. AC/DC.
AC/DC.
Yeah, I'm a rock guy, rock and roll guy. I love those.
Remember Iron Maiden?
Iron Maiden, yeah. Bon Jovi, Kiss, all of those bands.
Yeah. For me, my favorite band's actually right behind you there. Queen, definitely. That's my number one.
Queen.
Yeah.
Oh.
One of my.
Yeah.
That's my favorite band, hands down. Other than that, Red Hot Chili Peppers, big influence for me. The Beatles, Rolling Stones, all those kind of bands. My dad brought me up on a lot of oldies, so I listened to all of his era, and that kind of meshed into me getting into music and all that.
We got to thank Javi for that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're next.
How about you, Joey?
Actually, I used to listen to a lot of different music. The Rolling Stones, of course, are one of my favorites. Rod Stewart and the Faces. Elvis Presley. I cut my teeth singing his stuff. The Beatles, of course. I knew all the words to all their songs, which helps when we do Beatle tunes now. But
Yeah.
you know, Martha Hoople. I mean, just when it comes to music, I just listen to Def Leppard. A lot of current stuff that's coming out. I enjoy it. I'm not much of a dancer, but I mean, I do like some of the stuff that I'm seeing.
That's why we play in a band, because we don't want to dance.
Yeah,
We'll make you dance.
Oh yeah, they still are. I saw Rod Stewart at the Hard Rock Live not that long ago.
Oh yeah.
The Eagles were there also.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what a show they put on.
Yeah.
It's great. But I think it's so cool that it's like you've got bands that keep that music alive, because there are so many people now that I mean, these bands represent an era that a lot of the kids today are never going to be able to experience.
You'd be surprised.
And I'm
yeah.
going to get in trouble for this, but the music was better.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be surprised because
How dare you say that?
Yeah.
I agree.
The music was better.
So do I.
I think you'd be surprised because I'm a teacher and I teach high school, and you would be shocked to see what these kids actually can find online, and just when they're coming to me telling me about the Doors, like these B-sides that they did, and I'm like, how could you possibly have found this out? And they show me their discography. So there is definitely, what you're saying is absolutely true though. The new stuff that they're into is kind of most of it's garbage, but there are like these little kind of pockets of kids that just love that old music, and it's still being played in their cover bands, and it's so cool to see that it continues on in a different way.
Yeah, no, and it's funny because I remember when my daughter was, I guess she was like 15, and I was taking her to school, and Bohemian Rhapsody comes out on the radio.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And she starts singing along to it, and I'm like, "Wait, how do you know this?" And she's like, "We listen to that kind of stuff too, And I'm like, "Okay, don't get all offended now."
Yeah.
I was like, but it was just so funny to hear her singing, singing along with it,
I can relate to that. My daughter is a pediatric nurse in North Carolina at Duke University. She's about 23 now, but she can sing every song out there. I don't know how she memorizes, she knows the song, she sings them, songs I have never even heard of. And she's amazing, but the minds that the young ones have that can absorb all that, and she does very well in karaoke. She knows, she doesn't even have to look at the words, she gets up there and does it. So
that's
very
awesome.
Impressive, these young kids, like Eric was saying, what they get into. Well, they got no other responsibilities, maybe not as much as family people do, but they can spend time on it. But I'm very, very amazed at what she can do.
There's a lot of good young talent out there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there really is.
Yeah, check out The Voice.
And that's what we're trying to promote.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why you brought us in here, because you want some talent.
Yeah.
Young talent too,
That's
right?
We want to show off talent, so we brought you guys on there. But yeah, that's one of the things that Florida Arts Network wants to do is bring the arts to kids, because it's crazy. Schools start cutting their budgets, and the first thing to go are the arts.
Yeah.
Whether it's band, whether it's theater, whatever.
Yeah.
Film.
Yeah.
Film,
You need that
even the
creative
regular
outlet.
arts, like the visual arts, like the painting and everything
And
like
sculpture,
that.
and
Sculpture,
all
they
that
cut
pottery, all that stuff.
Sure.
My daughter had that when she was in school. So I mean, that wasn't that long. Well, actually, it was like 20 years ago. Oh my gosh, I'm dating myself because no one else will date me. No,
That's
I'm kidding.
okay.
But yeah, so we want to bring this to kids, but we also want to celebrate the artists that are already creating the art.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why we like to have different talent on here.
And help them too, get them places so they can be seen.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do what we can. I can't believe
time's up.
We're done. Yeah, I know. Time's up. All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much for being on the show. Let's put their link tree up one more time so people know where to find them. Here we go, Burning Roses, Linktree Burning Roses Band. So look them up, give them a listen, and look out for them because they'll be playing around soon.
Very soon.
Coming to your area.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, thanks for joining us for another episode.
having us.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for having
Thank you
us.
very much.
Appreciate it very much.
All right. So we are the Artist Loft, hosted by the Florida Arts Network. Hit us up on our website. Florida.
501c3 organization.
Yes, we are a 501c3, so anything that you donate is tax deductible. All right, guys. We'll see you all again in a couple of weeks. Thanks for joining us.
Ciao.
Thank you for watching The Artist Loft. Make sure to tune in next time for another great show. A show that was produced by Ant Media Productions and hosted by the Florida Arts Network with your hosts Richard Sosa and Frank A. Ruffolo.